Thanks for joining me here today for your fourth stimulus survival check and stimulus package update. Let's not waste any time, and we'll kick things off with America's funniest Senator John Kennedy, who shared the following message yesterday.
Look, I regret having to say this, but when it comes to illegal immigration, you just can't trust the Biden administration. It would be like trusting Harvey Weinstein with your daughter.
Kennedy also had this to say while speaking on Fox and Friends.
Your state is one of them where the Delta is a really big problem right now.
I think that clearly we're in the midst of a surge. I think we have enough medicine to treat everybody in America and to help other people in the world. I believe that. I think that the president's mandate has probably set us back in terms of getting people. The president has apparently decided that he needs to protect Americans from their dangerous constitutional rights. Apparently, the new rule of the Biden administration is that, how can I put this, the Taliban gets Blackhawks and they get fired.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had sharp words for the GOP this week.
I'd say to my Republican friends, and I do have some, take back your party. You're the grand old party of America. You've done wonderful things for our country. You're now been hijacked by a cult that is just not good for our country. Take back your party.
West Virginia Governor Jim Justice has found another way to plea for people.
I brought my little buddy with me, but I brought my buddy with me today. But I got to show you my little buddy just a second. Come and grab this rascal. Sit down there, rascal. Just calm down. You're good. You've got to get vaccinated for Baby Dog. Baby Dog is asking you again. She's asking you, just go get your shot. You have got to get yourself vaccinated. All right, do it for Baby Doll. You can't turn her down. She'll give you a high five right now. She wants you vaccinated so badly. Now, she's probably right now thinking about a cheeseburger, but nevertheless, she's asking you, please, go get yourself right now, right, baby? I've never seen her do anything except go through that little wiggling.
LMAO, President Biden claims he is going to stop inflation and lower the cost of living with his infrastructure bill.
My Republican friends talk a lot about inflation. But if you want to talk about actually lowering the cost of living for people in this country, my plan does just that. By strengthening the capacity of our economy, we'll also reduce inflationary pressures over the long run. Here's something else my plan does. It confronts the crisis of extreme weather events that we're seeing all around us and around the world, but just here in America. We see it everywhere. We know it's real.
Joe Biden headed off to the beach as Americans are still stranded in Afghanistan and 12,000 migrants are living under a bridge in Texas. Biden left the White House at noon yesterday to spend a long weekend at the beach. Everyone wants to know what the deal is with Joe Biden's cough.
We're also going after the bad actors and profiteers in our economy. There's lots of evidence that gas prices should be going down, and the Build Back Better plan that I have proposed, and I've said many times before, including working people and middle-class folks. That's something we haven't realized in this country for decades. The data,
One very different separate. Many of us were in the East Room watching the president. We've seen him on many occasions where he has a repeated cough. What is the situation with that cough, and is that a concern?
It's not a concern. We have a doctor who travels with him, obviously, who checks in if it is ever warranted, and certainly that continues to be the case, as it has been since the beginning of his presidency.
Is there an explanation for why he coughs so frequently in situations like that? I'm sure you saw it.
I did. I don't think it's an issue of concern. I think there are a range of reasons why we may need to clear our throat, or we may have a little light cold, and that's certainly something that presidents, officials, reporters, spokespeople can confront, but it's not an area where we have a medical concern.
Just the night before, Biden also seemed to struggle with his cough.
California, I'm not sure you know it, but if you didn't know it, you should. Fascinating his state. Meanwhile, for these Republican governors, it isn't about public health, about the health of the people. It's about politics. In Mississippi, children are required against measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, hepatitis B, polio, tetanus, and more. It's a state requirement. But now, in the midst of this pandemic that has taken over 650,000 lives, look, folks, we don't need politics in this battle against. We need science. We need courage. We need leadership. We need Gavin Newsom, a governor who follows science, who's got the courage to do what's right, and who'll lead. And I apologize for coughing. That's what the science tells us. We have to beat the Delta variant. Gavin will be the governor.
In case you missed it this week, Biden referred to the Australian Prime Minister as the fellow down under after addressing Boris Johnson by his first name at the AUKUS announcement.
United Kingdom. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Boris. And I want to thank that fellow down under. Thank you very much, pal. Appreciate it, Mr. Prime Minister. I'm honored today to be joined by two of America's closest allies, Australia and the United Kingdom.
During their Oval Office meeting on Wednesday, Biden failed to persuade Senator Joe Manchin to agree to spending $3.5 trillion on the Democrats' budget reconciliation package. The bill has come to a screeching halt. In the meantime, Nancy Pelosi keeps stalling on the physical infrastructure bill. Former Secretary of Labor Robert Reich tweeted, "In case you missed it, Joe Manchin founded two coal companies in the 1980s, which are led today by his son. His family's fortune relies on allowing the fossil fuel industry to keep wreaking havoc on our planet. So a coal-corrupt politician does not want clean energy. Is this surprising? As a reminder, members of the House returned from their paid vacations on Monday, leaving only 10 days until a government shutdown.
Our government's not funded 2 weeks from now, which means the countdown clock will begin again towards when we're headed to another government shutdown. And the conversation will be, are we going to have another government shutdown? Are we going to be open? What's going to happen to federal workers? Agencies across Washington, D.C. and across the country will shortly get instructions for here's what to do in case of a shutdown in your agency. Here's who employees would be non-essential, what needs to happen to them, essential needs to happen to them. And the chaos will begin in all these agencies because 2 weeks from now, we're headed towards the end of the fiscal year and not a single appropriation bill of the 12 has been taken up in committee.
Representative Sean Maloney shared his opinion on Republican reactions after Governor Gavin Newsom of California beat Larry Elder in the recall.
Amen. And that's why you see him acting all butthurt this morning because, you know, they're going to talk about it or something else. Fact is, we won, they lost. And when all the polls are done and all the dust settles, people show up at the polls or not. And what this was a good test of Biden versus Trump.
When it comes to convincing moderate Democrats to support President Biden's economic agenda, Senator Chris Coons says President Biden is very persuasive, and he thinks he's making the case and making it well.
I was thrilled in August when we passed on a bipartisan basis a landmark infrastructure bill, and now we are working in the Democratic caucus to pass the follow-on investment that's badly needed to make it possible for Americans to get back to work by providing more affordable access to high-quality preschool and daycare, by reducing the cost of health care, and by making sure that every American is paying their fair share of the cost of moving forward. It's not clear to me exactly how much this package will ultimately cost, but I'll remind you it'll be spread over 10 years, and it'll build a more solid foundation under America's middle class. So President Biden's very persuasive, and I think he's making the case and making it well.
Gene Sperling, the White House coordinator for the American Rescue Plan, addressed Senator Joe Manchin's suggestion to add work requirements for the child tax credit.
In terms of the issues that that Senator Manchin is raising, who we have great respect for, we think when you look at it, we will all agree that it is getting to the children that we want it to.
Senator Bernie Sanders put on some hair gel and boxing gloves and is all pumped up, ready for a fight.
We are taking on the entire ruling class of America, the entire oligarchy. You're taking on the pharmaceutical industry because they don't want us to lower the cost of prescription drugs. Taking on the healthcare industry. They don't want us to expand Medicare to cover dental, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. We're taking on the fossil fuel industry, obviously, because they want to continue to make profits by destroying the planet. So This is a huge deal. It is a monumental moment in modern American history, whether or not we can show the American people that we can address their long-standing problems, improve life, and have the courage to take on incredibly wealthy and powerful forces who are spending millions of dollars against us right now.
Congresswoman AOC has been hit with another ethics complaint for attending the Met Gala. AOC now faces a second House ethics complaint, alleging Ocasio-Cortez's acceptance of free tickets to the event violated House gift rules. It's now day number 5 since the Met Gala, and AOC is still defending herself against critics.
You know, I'm hearing some folks, especially the right wing, having this critique about Monday saying, isn't it ironic that she showed up in a Tax the Rich dress? And I think we need to go back to literary class a little bit. This conversation comes up. Now, the definition of irony is the use of words that mean the opposite of what you really think, especially in order to be funny. That's not the opposite of what we need to tax the rich, and we need to confront this establishment and this concentration of wealth that likes to consider or market itself as liberal or progressive, but wants to do absolutely wealth inequality, and oftentimes lobbies to protect laws, including in the Democratic Party, to preserve the establishment of their class interest. The thing is, this isn't some theoretical or abstract political statement. Right now, we are debating the Reconciliation and Build Back Better Act, which includes historic expansions in childcare, healthcare, climate action, of unionization.
On our last update, we discussed how Alexandria unveiled a bill to extend additional unemployment aid after lawmakers allowed the program to expire on Labor Day. The bill would extend the benefits that were first introduced during stimulus talks last year until February of next year, and would make payments retroactive to September 6th when the benefits expired. These payments would be $300 a week, totaling $1,200 a month. Lots of talk about unemployment benefits and the child tax credit, but still no mention of a fourth round of stimulus checks. No checks even after President Biden noted how a study found that the stimulus checks helped reduce anxiety and depression for families during.
And the American Rescue Plan delivered economic benefits directly to the American people. Because of that law, more than 167 million of those rescue payments of up to $1,400 have gone out to individual families. A recent study, the Census Bureau data found just how much these checks mattered. They drastically reduced depression, according to the study, anxiety, and hardship for families. More than 40% fewer families struggle to afford food, rent, utilities, car payments, student loans, and health care expenses. Small businesses and restaurants we're delivering loans and support they need to reopen and to stay open.
If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to give it a like by pressing the thumbs up button. If you would like to see more updates like this, then simply subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button as well. That's the latest and greatest stimulus check and stimulus package updates for today. As always, I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and we'll see you soon. Have yourself an exceptional day and take care. Exceptional day and take care. Exceptional day.